Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back inside of Brooks Memorial Gymnasium here at Salem High School, the host site for this 2017 holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. It's championship night, but for the Senators, they'll have to settle for another consolation game appearance, as last night the Senators fell to the host Salem Lions in their rematch of the season opener. Meanwhile, the Borden Braves landed in their consolation spot here this evening after suffering a blowout loss at the hands of Coach Scott Newcomb's Eastern Musketeers. Tonight it's the Senators and the Braves in consolation game action, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast is Senator Basketball here on Salem's 1220 with my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator Football's own Mark Gibson. Well, if anything, last night's 25-point loss to the Lions proved to be another big learning experience for the Senators, another opportunity for them to grow a little bit in the mental aspect of the game after controlling the tempo for the better part of the first half. And even a little bit into the third, it was Salem who was able to dominate the third quarter of play. In fact, they outscored the Senators 20-8 and forced 11 of West Washington's 18 turnovers in the period using some full court pressure, and that amped the offense for Salem and again allowed them to balloon that lead up to the 20-point plateau. And from there, the Lions never looked back as the Senators fell and fell hard last night here in the nightcap. However, just like last weekend, no rest for the weary. This Senator team bounces right back less than 24 hours after the fact to take on a Borden Braves club who, as I said in the open, took a big hit last night as it was Eastern who come out and put on a all-out blitz, if you will, on the Braves on the offensive and defensive ends, and they jumped out big. In fact, after the first quarter of play, it was 22-5, and the Musketeers continued to roll through the remaining three quarters of play as well as the Braves suffered the setback on this very floor, 57-36. So both teams now look at a consolation opportunity and a chance to grow. Coach, what's it going to take for the Senator team to bounce back and finally get a guy who's willing to attack and become that kind of stone-cold shooter that we need him to be?
Well, I think it's going to take a little bit of a smarter Senator ball club. In the second half, like I thought you said it perfectly, we actually kind of controlled the tempo in the first half. I mean, we were still down 10 or 11 at half, but we controlled the tempo. And then once Salem went into that press in the third quarter, and having Holden out, your true point guard out, it really affected the Senators. So tonight, you got to let last night go. You can't let it linger. You have to come back confident. I mean, this is a big game. I'm not saying it is no way a make or break game this early in the year, but it is a big game for confidence, especially a young team like we have, inexperienced. This is a confidence building game. You got to come back, let last night go, because I mean, you want to start building now as you're going into Christmas break, and then you have the second half of the season coming up after Christmas. You want to start peaking at some point, and this is a big game for confidence for our group. I think we're going to have to be smarter with the ball. We're going to have to defend the paint a little bit better. Salem got to the rim in the second half nonstop. We have to defend the paint a little bit better, and we're going to have to be able to match Borden's intensity, because Coach Nash will have them playing with ferocious intensity like he always does. I mean, that's one thing they've always been known for since he's been there. They will get after you, so can we match that intensity?
We'll certainly hope so, and that's yet to be seen, but we count down to the tip, and we'll see if the Senators can indeed stop the bleeding on this little three-game skid that they are currently riding right now. And as always, we'll take a moment during our pregame show coverage here tonight from the Everett Estine Court inside of Brooks Memorial Gymnasium on the campus of Salem High School to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220, and also take this time to give a shout out to all of our great sponsors. John Jones GM City of Salem bringing you this pregame show coverage and our pregame all season long, as well as our halftime sponsor Eddie Gilstrap Motors and your postgame show sponsor Ace Hardware of Salem, who will also bring you our player of the night honors, as well as McDonald's on South Main Street, Walmart, Brady Bishop and Channel Seeds, Salem Crossing, and Meadowview Healthcare. When we come back after our word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association, we'll sit down and we'll talk to Coach Sean Smith of the Senators to get his thoughts on last night's game against Salem and looking ahead to tonight's game with Doc Nash's Borden Braves. But first, it's that 60-second timeout. We'll come back with more of our pregame right after this.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA members, schools, and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show. It is championship night of the holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. Senators will open things up tonight as they take on Doc Nash's Borden Braves after falling to Salem 52-27 in last night's nightcap. And we're joined now on the pregame, as always, by Senator head coach Mr. Sean Smith. Coach, last night a rough outcome, but I felt like, and we talked about this a little bit in the postgame, the first half was where probably you wanted it as far as pace was concerned. The problem was only 11 points total in that first half. It seemed like we were patient offensively and at the same time a little passive. So I guess the first question would be, do you agree with that assessment offensively? And if so, was that more so on us, or was that what Salem had anything to do with what Salem was doing defensively to us?
I think that's just more, and I agree with you. Yeah, we were patient, but we were also not looking for our opportunities a lot. And I think that our guys are, we're just struggling to kind of understand that in between. We either go first when we talk to them about being aggressive and looking for their shot, and we start going first available, and the first pass we let it fly, or we overdo it. And then when we talk about being patient, we get a little passive. So it's just a matter of experience and kind of figuring out, how to be patient and look for our best opportunity. And I thought we were definitely passive at times. I agree with that. But there were some times where we did get matchups and we were able to get, a big guy on one of the smaller guys, and we had some opportunities, and we just didn't finish. And, had we been able to finish those baskets and keep it within contact there and not let it get to double figures, we might have been able to put a little pressure on them as we got later into the game. But we couldn't connect, and then, they were able to get a little breathing room going into halftime. And again, that third quarter, they came out and took it to us. And that third quarter is, we've been struggling with that the last few games, just not matching people's intensity and effort coming out of the half.
Coach, last night in that second half, Salem did pick up the pace, especially in that third quarter, as you mentioned, and Hendigas and Whedon, you knew probably coming in on the scouting report, those were going to be the guys, again, that you were going to have to try to control. And I thought throughout the third quarter, I know he had a couple of back-to-back baskets, but he kind of went to that gimmick defense, that box and one, and allowed Mikey to kind of face guard him. And I felt like at times we did a nice job of kind of removing him from within their offense.
Yeah, I think Hendigas is the guy that makes them go. He's just a really solid point guard. As we said, I think at the pregame, he's started at point as a freshman and sophomore on, two really good teams, at Salem that I think won 18 games, and another, I think last year they won 20 or 21. So he's got a lot of experience as a freshman and sophomore on really good teams, and now it's kind of time for him to step up and maybe be a little more of a scorer, and he's showing he can do that. And he definitely is the one that makes them go. And I thought the box and one for a little while was effective, but they figured some things out in that third quarter and got some guys open, and some guys made shots. Some other players stepped up. Fleming and Tubac made some shots for them, and then they got to their press, and we just didn't handle their press very well at all. And that was really the most disappointing part for me, I think, just because we spent a lot of time working on specific press break for that press, and we just we just kind of started scrambling. We lost our focus a little bit on our poise, I guess would be a better word. We lost our poise, and we quit looking at all the options and breaking the press, and got fixated on either a reversal pass or a middle pass when the sideline was there sometimes, and we just had a hard time with that. But that's again, young guards learning on the job, and hopefully we'll get better at that.
Of course, that third quarter, the real bugaboo in the game, 20-8, they outscore your club. But again, you balanced the good with the bad in that loss last night, and we talked about this as well in the post game. The fact that while you may have had 18 turnovers, and I know the score wasn't where you wanted it to be, you got to take some satisfaction in the fact that defensively you kept them off the line last night.
Yeah, we did a good job with that, and I thought. We made them hit shots from the outside. We made some other people beat us, or at least step up and make plays besides Hennigan and beat. And I know Hennigan got his, but we made some other people step up and make plays. We just offensively we didn't handle the press very well. We didn't. When we did break the press, we got to have some guys that are willing to. That's an opportunity to be aggressive. You have the first, 3-on-2 situation back there, or 2-on-1. You got to be aggressive and attack. And we talked about that, through the week. We wanted to break their press and then attack 3-on-2 and try to use the pressure against them. And if we didn't have it, then that's when we would bring it out and run our offense. And we just had some guys that were, I don't know if they're just gun shy, they're afraid they're going to get blocked or what, but we got to get the guys back in there that are willing to take some chances and go challenge people at the back of a press and finish.
Senators fall 52-27 again in last night's Game 2 of the holiday tourney, and that sets us up for tonight's matchup and tilt against Doc Nash's Braves, who fell as well last night, 57-36 to an Eastern team that played really well. But Coach, in watching Borden last night, I know they struggled from the field, especially it seemed like from the three-point line. But you kind of also know what you're going to get out of Borden defensively as well. Kind of like us, they used a little bit of half-court matchup zone. They used some half-court man-to-man. Tell us a little bit, though, about what else you've seen from this Borden team, maybe on tape or from last night, that's concerning to you.
Well, I saw the very first game of the year when they made a nice comeback to beat Eastern, and they, in that game they got after it full court. I mean, they did a run and stump press. They did 2-2-1. My guess is if they watched our game last night, especially the third quarter, that they're going to probably at some point look to pressure our guards full court. And we went over that a little bit today in a walkthrough, and again trying to work on our press break. And we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to take care of the ball. I think that we got not having Holden, having our point guard is tough. We're having to have some guys that are probably more accustomed to being 2 and 3 guards. Handle the ball a little more. But this is a good opportunity for them to learn how to do those things, and in the end it'll make us a deeper team. And it's just a matter of our guys got to step up and execute the press break or execute, the game plan, and that's going to be the key. And I would expect them to press us. I really would, because we have some advantages in the post. If we can break their press and score at the back end, or handle it and then get the ball inside, against their half-court D, we're going to be in good shape.
And that was some of my conversation with Senator head coach Sean Smith earlier today. Let's quickly take a break here during our pregame as we roll down to the final minutes of the warm-up session here for both clubs to bring you tonight's Keys to Victory, brought to you by John Jones, GM City of Salem. First and foremost, don't press the pressure. Last night, whenever they cranked the dial a little bit with the 2-2-1, we seemed to hit the panic button, and we wanted to press for things that were not open, throwing long skip passes and the such. So got to stay away from that stuff tonight. Just play calm and cool. feed the post. Secondly, I think that's a big thing for us considering the fact that this is a much smaller Borden lineup that we face, even than last night's lineup against Salem, which isn't huge by any stretch of the imagination, but these guys even smaller across the front. And then third and finally, perimeter defense. Borden shot 18 threes last night against Eastern. Now, lucky for Eastern, they were not able to connect on very many of those, but 18 shot attempts from downtown tells me that they've got the green light. And you listen to Coach Nash, he don't seem to think that they hit them on a regular basis very well, but that won't stop them because shooters are going to shoot to try to break a slump. So got to have good rotations here tonight, and that will be your keys to victory tonight, brought to you by John Jones, GM City of Salem. Call the fine folks at John Jones, GM City at 1-800-I-SELL-GM, 473-5546. Check them out online at johnjonesautogroup.com, or better yet, stop by that beautiful showroom and lot just outside of town here, 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones, GM City. You see so many because they pay so little. Coach, it's about that time before we step aside for the final time and get a word in from a sponsor before the lineups. Final thought?
Well, just listen to the coach. I mean, a lot of it came back to poise, making smart decisions, and making sure, and one thing that we've talked about is making sure we finish quarters and finish halves. And that's something we haven't been real good at doing so far this year. So we just need to be solid through the entire quarter.
Senators will try to rebound, and the final seconds tick off the clock. They'll have the national anthem, so let's step aside, get a word from our pregame sponsor, John Jones. We'll come back and get you set with tonight's opening lineups here in just a moment. You're listening to the Senators in the 2017 Holiday Tourney, presented by First Harrison Bank here in Salem. We'll come back with that lineup in the opening tip right after this.
Just in time for the holidays at John Jones GM City in Salem, get GM employee pricing on our most popular Chevy models. You pay what we pay, not 1 cent more. Use your employee discount and save over $11,000 on select Chevy Silverados. Put a bow on that. Drive a brand new Chevy Spark, automatic, backup camera, touchscreen sound system, built-in Wi-Fi, lots more. Just $12,137 while they last. You can also browse through a variety of really nice local trade-ins, many priced around $5,000. GM employee pricing for you right now at John Jones GM City. Stop by 1450 Highway 60, Salem, Indiana. Call 800-I-SELL-GM or visit us online anytime at johnjonesautogroup.com.
We come back to Salem High School. They flipped the script on us here a little bit. They've already ran the starting lineups for Borden, and apparently they're going to wait and do the national anthem the night before the championship game. So let's run down the night starters. First for Borden, 24, Noah Franklin starts at one guard, 5'10", and a senior. He's joined in the backcourt by Lucas McNew, another senior at 5'11", wearing number 11. Dakota Rippey, another guard, number 21, 5'9", and a junior. And then up front, 22, Jacob Nolenberg, 5'10", and a sophomore. He'll be joined in the front court by 31, Jacob Robinson, 6'1", and a junior for Mr. Doc Nash, 176 and 89 in his 12th season at Borden, including a 2013 state championship ring. Senators in those home white threads tonight, trimmed in red and blue letters and numerals. Borden in the road black uniforms, trimmed in red and white, red letters and numerals. Tonight's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials, Mr. Steve Eichert, David Yeary, and in place of Wayne Fugate, Brent Deckard. As we're underway, and we'll run down the starting lineups here for the Senators, in starting lineup for the Senators in just a moment as we're underway, and Borden controls the opening tip. Senators open up in a little man-to-man defense to start things out in the half court. Patient motion offense here. Senators go tonight with a similar lineup to last night. One change, Dakota Smith, the 6-foot junior, starts in place of 6'4" freshman Jake Strange. So joining Dakota out on the floor, 6-foot senior guard Cam Zink, as well as the junior guard Mikey Nichols, 5'8", 10 and a junior at 6.5 points per ball game. Parker Green, a 6-foot freshman at 5.5 points per game, also gets the nod tonight in the 3-guard set. And then finishing out the front court with Dakota Smith is the 6'3" senior big man, Nick Mars, who leads the team at 9 points per game and nearly 6 boards per contest. Senators on your WSLM 1220 AM dial, starting out tonight, moving from left to right, working this left side of the floor. Defensively, a good possession here as they've made Borden burn up over a minute already on their first possession, and I'm not so sure that Doc's not settled on keeping it just the way it is. He's known for pulling the air out of the ball against better teams, and not to say we're so much better, but a case where last night, you know, and I talked to him before the game. We didn't have a chance to play it, unfortunately for you, during the pregame, but in talking to Doc, you know, he said that's one of the things that really frustrated him last night is the fact that because they got behind early 22-5 after that first quarter of play, they had to play from behind and had to play at a speed that they're not comfortable with. They do not want a frenzied pace as they burn over a minute off the clock in that first possession and give it up on a travel. So first turnover of the night, and Doc Nash trying to get an explanation from Yeary as the Senators go to work offensively, and it's Nichols who misses the shot at point-blank range. Robinson comes out of there with it, gives it off to Noah Franklin. He races down the floor left side, and Franklin puts the Braves on the board. First points of the night for either club. Borden enjoys the early 2-0 lead, 5:57 and counting. First quarter of play from Salem High School. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson as we bring you coverage of this consolation game in the holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. Senators back to work offensively. Nice little give and go. Freshman to freshman connection as Green, or excuse me, that's to Mars.
That's the thing with Borden that'll get you a little bit. They were so patient, took over a minute the first time. But if you give them the opportunity to run and get easy baskets, they will take it.
So on the feed from Green to Mars, slipping to the basket, we have our first foul of the night. That goes on Jacob Nolenberg. His first, team's first. 2.5 minutes gone by. Senators had to reset underneath. Little matchup, 1-2-2 half court. And now Coach Smith calling for a double down look here as Zink drives into no man's land. And that's something you teach kids at an early age. And Coach Gibson, I'm talking about first, second grade. You teach them don't dribble to the corner. There's nowhere to go. And that's going to result in the first turnover of the night as Zink steps out of bounds against the trap, 5:15 and counting. First frame of action, 2-0, Borden out in front. Each team with an early giveaway. Borden with one personal whistled against them thus far. They'll fake the dribble handoff from the high post, and Robinson turns and takes a nice look at the basket on the dribble drive, able to score. He makes it now 4-0. So the Braves out quickly, and the Senators again.
That's something we need to keep an eye on. That's 2 layups for their 4 points. How many times are we going to force them to shoot jumpers? They shot 18% last night. Got to make them shoot jumpers.
Underneath, Dakota with a turnaround jumper that's an air ball, so Smith can't come up with anything. And to the other end, Franklin knocks down a silky smooth jumper from 12 feet away on that right wing. He's got 4 of the team's 6. Little 6-0 run to open things up, 4:25 to play in this first quarter of action. So we'll step aside, take a break, get a word in from a sponsor, and come back with more first quarter action right after this.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I needed a cooler for our annual fishing trip, and I heard Ace has Yeti.
Jack was right. We do have Yeti coolers. I told him about the permafrost insulation and the fact that Yeti coolers are built for the wild, and that Yeti Tundra is guaranteed grizzly-proof.
Ace is the place with grizzly-proof Yeti coolers.
Ace Hardware of Salem is your local Yeti dealer. Get a free $50 Ace gift card with your purchase of any Yeti cooler of $249 or more. Offer ends December 23rd.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Back back to first quarter action here from Salem High School. Borden jumps out to a quick 6-0 lead, prompting a timeout from Coach Smith. And now the Braves will apply some 2-2-1 full court pressure and hustle back as the Senators break it fairly easily and get into the front court as we roll up on the halfway point of this opening frame. Mars with it in the mid post, dribbles out of trouble, feeds it back on the wing to Zink. Ball reversal around the perimeter. It goes to Nichols, now to Jake Strange, fresh into the ball game. Slated to get the start, and then the change coach's mind this afternoon prompted Dakota Smith to get that starting role at the power forward spot. Senators have it poked away, stay on this end, and Parker will trigger it in, gives it up to Nichols just inside the three-point line, and that one way off, barely grazes the rim on the far side. Franklin pushes in transition. Nice dribble drive take on the baseline. Shot's no good for McNew. Rebound pulled down by the Senators. They're back in action on the offensive end. Green, hesitation dribble. Nice take left side. Finally gets one to rattle home. And the Senators finally on the board at the 3:35 mark of this opening period of play. A much-needed basket by Parker Green as they'll try to answer with a 1-2-2.
It's good to see him more aggressive tonight. He didn't take a shot last night from the field, so it's good to see Parker. I mean, he's one of our scorers. We got to have him be more aggressive.
Doc's going to slow up the Braves here a little bit. And they go to more of a 4-out, 1-in look. Noah Franklin, who played point some last night for Coach Nash, moved into that post spot. Wasn't very happy with Franklin's play on the perimeter, turning it over 6 times last night against Eastern. Said he was going to move him to the post, and in fact he does. Man of his word. Nice rebound by Parker Green. He'll be fouled from behind. This will be team foul number 2 whistled against the Braves. Dave Erie with the call. That one's go against McNew, his first. And the Senators will reset now against some full court man-to-man pressure. Little 1-4 set, screen across from the elbows for the guards, and Zink gets it, and they'll clear things out, let him bring it up. But he's doubled, forced to give it up to Green. Green into the front court, stops, nowhere to go with it, has to give it up to Mars for a release. 2:43 and counting first quarter. Green controls it out front between the circles, sends it right side on the wing now to Nichols. Looks in the post, gives it back to Zink, now to Green. Green to a cutting Jake Strange, and Jake finally gets one. Underneath, Jake really struggled from in the post area last night. In the first half especially, Coach just could never get square in that one. A nice finish coming from the left side.
And you talked about, is it a learning experience? That he did. He got his feet squared. Like you said, his puppies are squared, and it was a nice play, nice feed by Green. So, I mean, be more aggressive, but be sound.
Jacob Robinson flips it over to Nolenberg, gets it right back. Nolenberg will take it once again. Little crow hop, and he steps into a little 10-foot jumper. And Nolenberg on the board, so 3 Braves into the score column already. 8-4. Braves have led the entire way thus far, and we'll see Micah Franklin, 5'7" sophomore, check in as Jake misses that one down low. Coming up on a minute and a half to go first quarter. Robinson with the take, pump fake, has his shot blocked. Nice block for Mars, and it's going to be deflected off of a Brave, so it will go to the other end of the floor. We'll see Micah Franklin, that 5'7" sophomore, check in here at the dead ball, and Jacob Nolenberg will have a seat. So sophomore for sophomore. They'll go with a little bit smaller lineup, but maybe a little bit more speed.
Yeah, he definitely showed some quickness last night.
Zink will work against Noah Franklin, bringing it up one-on-one. As the Braves have matched up now with a little man-to-man pressure of their own in the half court. Zink has it right side, 3-ball on the way, off the mark, no good. Nice strong rebound for the Braves, and they're back in business at the offensive end. Deep 3, McNew left side, rattles in and out, no good. And the Senators now with a chance to try to answer. Trying to cut into an 8-4 deficit here early, 62 seconds and counting, first quarter. They look inside, it's Strange.
Yeah, he needs to work a little bit harder, but he's still open. That's where our advantage is down low. Start feeding the post.
Took the words out of my mouth, Coach. He gets that first contact with the backside, enough to establish the post, but doesn't work too hard to keep it sealed as we got another miss. This one for Mars, and back to the other end. McNew will drive left side. Nobody home on the help side. And McNew now the 4th Brave into the box score, 10-4. 30 seconds to play in this opening quarter. Green feeds it ahead to Mars. Mars will take it. Probably fed way too late. In fact, about 2 dribbles too late. I think he should have just caught and threw. He'd have been just fine, but used up the dribble and tossed a rocket over to Jake, who wasn't ready for it, mishandled it. Turnover number 2 in this period for the Senators. 20 seconds to play. Guarantee you Borden's going to hold for 1 here. Gets a little 1-2-2 pressure. Mars and Strange down low. Nichols out top. Taking the wing to elbow positions in this little zone look. Zink and Green. Robinson has it out front. 3 seconds. 2. McNew. 3 ball on the way. Will not go, and we'll end the first quarter. Pretty eerie, the similar finish that we have here. Last night after the first quarter of play, it was 11-4. Salem out in front. Tonight after 1 quarter of play, it's the Braves out in front 10-4, and we'll hope that this isn't a sign of things to come later on in the evening. Senators will try to get something going offensively in the second period when we come back. You're listening to Senator Basketball tonight against the Braves in the holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, WSLM.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MetaView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Second quarter action. Braves open up with the rock, leading it 10-4. Braves go 50% from the field, 5 of 10 in that first quarter of play. Meanwhile, the Senators go just 2 of 8 as Coach Bausman's moved over across the way to join us here down below our radio table. Braves empty on their first possession of the second quarter, so the Senators back to work. Senators open up the period with Harrison Sanford, Jake Strange down low, Parker Green, Cam Zink, and Mikey Nichols out front as Harrison's going to log his first minutes of the night for Coach Smith. 50 seconds gone by here in the period, and Mikey Nichols using up that dribble way too much, about dribbled the air out of it and about paid the price as Micah Franklin gave chase, had the poke away. Parker Green now from the corner, able to bury a 3. Surprised I have not called him Noah more often. Usually it's Harrison and Hunter I get mixed up. But Parker with a big 3. Maybe that's a little shot in the arm we need as it's now a 10-7 game. Nearly a minute and a half gone by. Second quarter, McNew will bring it back out and work the dribble between the circles. Gives it up out front to Micah Franklin, and he'll redirect traffic as he leaves it off for Robinson. Robinson picked up by Strange. They'll go into their half-court motion set against the Senators, who open up the quarter with a little man-to-man. Franklin goes back to Robinson. His 3 looks way off, and it is. Draws nothing but air. McNew to fight for the basketball, but he'll touch it last. And it'll go back to West Washington, trailing it 10-7.
Yeah, we talked about in the first quarter about, okay, and last night we were struggling to score points. Well, where are the points coming from? You know, the first quarter, in the first part of this game, it looks like it's Parker Green.
Nichols will bring it up left side. He'll be chased by 2 Braves, and this time the dribbling does get him in trouble as Franklin picks his pocket this time, and back to the other end. We compound the problem by fouling. Franklin can't finish. That'll be the first one of the night, whistled against West Washington. 2 whistled against the Braves in that first quarter, and this one will go against Parker Green.
We get ourselves in a lot of trouble just by just dribbling way too much, just dribbling the basketball. Find your pass, pass it.
Micah Franklin to the free throw line, able to cash in on his first attempt of the night. First free throw of the game, as a matter of fact, 3 to ball club. 10 minutes of action gone by. Free throw number 2 of the night upcoming. Franklin hits the first. And Franklin's second one up and good as well. Good stroke for the sophomore. Makes it now 12-7.
Little jump press again. See how we handle it.
Run and jump pressure, not anything new for a Coach Nash team, especially if he smells blood in the water. And Zink outside, a lot of dribble. Abel's into the ball game. Caden Abel's 5'7" and a junior. So a very small lineup out there right now for Coach Smith's ball club. Harrison and Jake Strange trying to hold down the fort. And Parker pulls up. 16-foot jumper will go for Parker, and he's got 7 of the team's 9 here early on. 2.5 gone by in the second quarter of play. Robinson with it now out front at the center circle. He'll find McNew, gives it right back now to Dakota Rippey. Back to the high post feed and the motion set. Rippey thought about 3, working against Zink. Instead gives it back to Robinson. He'll look to spin. Instead had to kick out to McNew. He likes that left side baseline drive. He was forced to kick it out. Nolenberg shot. It won't rattle home, and a nice strong defensive rebound for Harrison Sanford. So maybe a little bit of life after all in this Senator team. Abels works the dribble out front, leaves it off now for Zink. He'll take the high screen. They wait a little too long for the lob feed to Strange. He missed the first one. Second one is up. He can't get it to go again. Rebound comes out to McNew and company. Leaves it off for Robinson. He'll kick out to Nolenberg, and the Braves will be patient this trip around. Nearly halfway through this second quarter of play. 12-9 your score.
Another nice aggressive move by Jake, but again, from last night, he just had his upper body was facing the rim, his lower body was not. He just wasn't set, he wasn't set up
even on the putback.
Soundly, right.
Yep. High ball screen for Robinson to Nolenberg, who feeds it to Rippey. He thought about pulling that trigger again, and Zink giving him just enough space to do so, but he thought better of it. 4-11 and counting. Second quarter of play, again 12-9 your score. 5 count is on. Zink out there hounding Rippey. Micah Franklin with the feed. McNew's not shy. He'll let it fly. That one rims in and out, no good. And Abels comes out of there with the rebound. He'll feed it to the front court as Harrison was able to leak out, and he gets an easy bunny underneath the basket. Harrison's got his first 2 of the night, and just like that, Coach, it's a 1-point game. 12-11, and Coach Nash gets up, throws both hands in the air, and says, hey, guys, what are we doing out there? We're about to blow this thing.
Well, one of my points with that written down, we can't give up the big runs like we have in the past. And, we've done a good job of combating that. They got to a nice little lead here to start the game, but we fought back.
Rippey controls out front against Zink again. Senators sticking with the man-to-man this quarter. Robinson looks for a back cut, gives it off to Rippey. He'll take a high ball screen. Again, thought about 3, but it's McNew driving baseline, left side again. 3rd or 4th time he's been able to get that baseline drive. This time it's going to result in a Senator foul. This one's going to go against Jake Strange. Sliding over to help. Be team foul number 2. So 2 apiece on each team. Zink's going to check out with Strange, and back into the ball game's Mikey Nichols and Nick Mars, senior and junior, checking back in. Braves able to get it in easily as Rippey controls. Back to the 1-2-2 for West Washington with this lineup. Harrison and Mars controlling the blocks down low. Robinson will come out. 6'1" junior holds out front, gives it off to McNew. He steps in to a perimeter look. Gets it right back, though, off of a feed to Rippey from the wing. Thought about stepping into another one. He hands it off to Robinson, and the Braves now, their turn to be a little bit more patient offensively. Nifty behind or through the legs dribble by McNew. And now he'll step into it. 3rd time's a charm.
Number 11, Lucas McNew.
On the 3rd step in, he finally decided to pull the trigger, makes it 15-11. Braves back out in front by 4. Abels has it now, brings the dribble back out front, goes through the legs as he works against Franklin. Pull-up jumper for Mikey Nichols, 16-foot fadeaway won't go. Probably not the shot we wanted on that possession. Last touched by Borden. Coach Nash continues to rub the top of that noggin. Not sure what his guys are doing on the defensive rebounding effort. And Nichols feeds to Abels. His 3 off the mark, no good. And Robinson pulls down a strong rebound. Braves back at it offensively, coming up on the 2-minute warning in this first half. They lead at 15-11 over the Senators. Robinson wanted the shot just inside that left elbow, couldn't get it to go. They'll pull it out to Nolenberg, and they'll take instruction from Coach Nash as they work the offense again in the half court. Nice feed underneath McNew to Robinson on the pump fake. Got a couple of Senators to bite. on the fake, and that'll earn him a trip to the foul stripe. Team foul number 3. Steve Eichert with the call. This one will go against Parker. Unfortunately, that's his second one in the half, so Parker will need to be smart if he stays in for the final buck 47. To the free throw line, Robinson goes, and he knocks down his first attempt. Braves now 3 for 3 on the night. Give Robinson 6, 16 to 11. Second one is up and good as well. So Robinson cashes in on his trip to the charity stripe, and it's back to a 6-point advantage at 17 to 11. 3-on-1 break. Harrison Sanford can't handle the feed from Nichols. They'll have to kick it out against pressure. Parker feeds it cross court. Nichols looked like it was partially blocked. Rebound deflected off the hands of a couple of jerseys. But the Senators come out of there with it. 90 seconds to play in this opening half. Abels pull-up jumper, stops and pops. 16-foot jumper wouldn't go from the elbow, but he tracks down his own miss. Feeds it now on the wing right side. Nichols, dribble drive, gives it up to Mars. Nice pick and roll. Mars is going to finish, and we're going to get a foul really after the shot was released. And so Mars.
Yeah, that seemed kind of late, but I would have, yeah, they're going to give him the shot. Thought maybe it was late enough to where we get the possession back.
It's kind of like one of those shots, Coach, from the perimeter when a guy's closing out and he fouls the guy on the 3, but it's after release on the follow-through. Same type of deal here. So Mars is going to get a chance for an old-fashioned 3-point play, and Steve Eichert trying to keep Doc Nash's blood pressure down as best as possible.
I could understand why Coach didn't like that call, but we'll take it. We needed to stop the bleeding there, and we are getting possession.
Now they're gonna say basket was good, fouls after the fact. So since the Senators are not in the bonus, that's just team foul number 3, and that one was against Micah Franklin, his first. Senators will get a double possession, a rare sight anymore in high school basketball. 17-13 after the Mars basket.
Franklins are really, both Franklins, they have really such quick hands. They're giving our guards some trouble out front.
Abel's able to work the dribble and get it into the front court, but again, a lot of dribble going on as they finally give it up to Zink. Zink, Abels, and Nichols out there working a 3-guard set and a little weave delay. They give it off to Mars underneath. He falls, gets tangled up with Noah Franklin. No call on the miss. Another possession there where we should have burned some clock. Mars comes up with a steal, turnover number 2 for the Braves, and to the other end we'll have a blocking foul. I don't know, but Coach, at halftime, I'm pretty sure we probably need to run the car into the mechanics garage and check our brakes, because we need to slow things down. We've had 2 times now where we probably should have just pulled the ball out and settled for one good shot to end the half, and right now we're trying to play at a pace that does not suit our lineup.
Well, and I've said that several times throughout the first 6 games, that we, for some reason.
I was just giving you a break.
Is that it? Because at the end of quarters, at the end of halves, it always seems like, okay, we got the ball with 25 seconds to go, but we take the shot with, 15 and get, it's just be smarter than that.
Mars hits both attempts after being fouled on the layup opportunity, makes it 17-15. Mars, a 62% free throw shooter, just 15 of 24 entering tonight's game. Half-minute to play, and Borden now will be content to hold for one. As the Senators will come out and extend their pressure against the delay for Borden. 20 seconds to go. Coach Nash on one knee barking out instructions. Coach Smith directing traffic defensively. Coming up on 10 to go. Robinson nowhere to go with it. Ball was poked away. Nolenberg comes out there with it, and then we give up a silly foul out front. 6.3 on the clock.
Team's 4.
That
Team
sure
foul
seemed
number
like
4.
that could have been a 5-second, but that was a tough one.
Franklin's going to have to go. Takes a high ball screen, a little hesitation, gets into the paint, loses the handle. Good defensive effort, forcing the turnover. 3 turnovers for the Braves in the first half. That last one costly as they cannot get a shot off, so they will settle for a 17-15 advantage on the scoreboard, rolling into the halftime break. Coach Gibson and I will step aside and take another break to hear from a couple of sponsors. And we will come back to begin our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator halftime report right after this. You're listening to the Senators and Braves tonight in the 2017 Holiday Tourney presented by First Harrison Bank on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
Hello, police. I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back once again to Salem High School, where we start our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Senator halftime report. Senators trailing at 17-15 on the scoreboard in this consolation matchup of the 2017 First Harrison Bank Holiday Tourney. Let's run down the scoring for both of these clubs. First for the Borden Braves, 17 points total on the board at a pace that really probably suits both clubs as far as scoring is concerned. Starting tonight, Noah Franklin chips in 4 all in that first quarter of play. Lucas McNew with 2 points. Dakota Rippey started but did not score. Jacob Nolenberg chips in 2 as well in the first quarter of play. Jacob Robinson leads the way with 7 of the team's 17, including 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Micah Franklin, the only guy to play off the bench for the Braves in that first half. He chips in 2 of 2 free throw shooting for his lone scoring thus far. So 4 for 4 overall for the Braves in that first half from the stripe for a perfect 100%. Just 3 turnovers, 1 in the first period, 2 in the second quarter of play. Meanwhile, for West Washington, again, not a lot of scoring from them either, just 15 points in all. They're trying to spread the wealth a little bit like they did last night. They didn't get a guy in the double-figure scoring against the Lions, but got a guy well on his way. Parker Green leads the way, 7 of the team's 15 here at the halftime break. Dakota Smith chips in some valuable defensive minutes, but is unable to find the range. I believe he only had maybe 1 shot attempt the entire half. Mikey Nichols, Camden Zink also give some defensive pressure on one end, but can't provide much offensive firepower. They both go scoreless in that first 16 minutes of play. Nick Mars chips in 4 on 2 of 2 free throw shooting and a 2-point field goal. Jake Strange, Harrison Sanford, and Caden Abels all see time in the first half. Strange chips in 2, as well as Harrison Sanford, who chips in 2. Caden Abels plays but does not tally in the first 16 minutes of play. Senators also perfect from the line, just 2 of 2 though for them in that first half. And like the Braves, 3 turnovers, but their results flipped, where the Braves had just 1 giveaway in the first quarter. Senators commit 2 of their 3 giveaways in that first period of play, doing a little bit better job, but some scary moments for them as they probably could have had a few more able to save and procure the possessions there in that second quarter with the pass rather than the dribble after 1 quarter of play. 10-4 your score. Borden out in front, but the Senators outscore the Braves in that second frame 11-7, and that brings us to our 17-15 score here at the half. We'll step aside, take another quick break, and we'll come back with more of our team statistics right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Okay, back here at the halftime, the West Washington Borden game. Borden leading 17-15. Not a lot of offensive fireworks, but I have a couple. Misty had gone through some of the scoring. I'll go through a couple more. Rebounding even, and we thought we might have a little bit of an edge. We did it. Both teams have 9 rebounds. Senators have 3 offensive, which leads to this next stat. We were 5 of 15 from 2-point range, where they were 5 of 9. So we had a few extra shots. But now we got to make them. I mean, 5 of 15. Obviously it's 33%. They're 5 of 9 for 56%. I was a little bit more pleased with last night. We gave up a ton of layups. Tonight they had 5 field goals. They had 3 layups, but they were all right there in a row when they went on their little run. So a little bit better, and that was one of our keys before the game, was to defend the paint a little bit better, and I think we're doing a little bit better job at that. And like you said, both teams are 100% from the free throws. 4 assists for Borden, 4 assists for West Washington. Everything's about even. Some individuals. Jake Strange has 3 rebounds at half. Caden Abels has 3 rebounds at half, 2 offensive. So he can come in and give us a little life off on the boards a little bit. And he's being a little bit more aggressive too. It's with holding out, our guards have to be a little bit more aggressive, and I think they're doing that. Like you said, there's been a couple of times where it's been kind of scary out front, where we're dribbling it just a little bit too much. Hopefully in the second half we look to the post a little bit more, because that's where our advantage has been with Nick Mars, Jake Strange, Parker's gotten in a little bit. We're doing a good job in the post. So the one thing we're going to have to do, the last few games we've really given up some runs in this third quarter. We have to be smarter with the ball in this, and I would expect Coach Nash to jump press us a little bit. We have to be have more poise, I think, in the third quarter. I said one of the stats I saw after doing stats today, opponents are averaging 4 steals a game against us in the third quarter, and deflections about the same. So they're really getting after us in the third quarter. I don't know if we're coming out of halftime too amped up, but we need to play with a little bit more poise, like Coach said in his pregame talk, and see what's going on. 17-15, anybody's ball game. So, it's just basically who's going to win this second half is going to be the team that's going to feel better about themselves going into Christmas break.
That answer will be coming up shortly as we near the end of our halftime report, brought to you by Eddie Goldstrap Motors, just south of the square here in Salem. We'll step aside, take our final break of the half, and we'll come back with third quarter action after this. You're listening to the Senators and Braves on WSLM.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
back to get set for the third quarter of action. While we have just a small moment of time here, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Third quarter opens up. Senators with the basketball, trying to dig in here and search for their first tie or first lead of the night. Parker Green has it left side, baseline take. Jumper will rattle home, and Parker continues his solid night offensively as he now has 9 in the contest. Make it 17-17, our first tie since it was all zeros. And a strong take right side for the Braves off that baseline dribble drive once again. But they come up short in their first possession. So West Washington in business, a score out of the half in their first possession, giving us our first tie again since it was all zeros. And Jake Strange, again, another post move, but those feet not square. So a dry run for the Senators. And now the Braves 0 for 2 as Franklin misses the pull-up jumper on the break. Abels pushes to the other end. It's Abels, Zink, Green out there with Mars and Strange to open up the third for Coach Smith. 6:55 and counting. Third quarter, Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson, bringing you tonight's coverage. Craig Akers running the live stream video feed. As the Senators in search of their first lead of the night in this low-scoring affair, 17 all right now as Green controls out front, lays it off on the corner to Abels. Dribble drive, feeds it to Parker. He's feeling it. 3 won't go, though. Robinson pulls the board. He'll dribble it into the front court and look to give it up, and he finds Noah Franklin, who'll split 2 guys. Nice take to the rack, and he got the friendly little bounce off the back iron. So Franklin scores for the first time since the early going in the first quarter. Makes it now 19-17, Braves back out in front.
That's twice they've come right at Jake Strange. So I don't know if Coach said something to half it. If 32's in there, let's go right at him. And they've got 1 out of 2. So there's a nice move, but it looks like they're going to attack Jake.
Senators working a little 4-corner with a 3-man weave out front, trying to delay. Now they're going to a motion set with a double screen down. Parker couldn't get anything to Mars on that left side, so he had to reverse it out to Strange. Now to Zink, 3 ball in the way, couldn't get it to fall. Strange to fight for the rebound, but Robinson wins the battle. Braves back to the other end very quickly, wasting no time as Nichols will check in. Next dead ball, 2.5 gone by here in the third. Rippey will hold out front. Coach Nash says, let's slow it up now. Let's be patient with the 2-point lead and the rock. 5:21 and counting. Rippey on the ball reversal now to Nolenberg, left side. Looks to take a screen on the wing from Robinson. Nothing comes of it, so they flip it back to Rippey. He tries to feed down low on the lob to Robinson. That's turnover number 4 for the Braves. First of the half, and then the Senators give it away again. Got to pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah,
it's not there.
A little bit too fast.
I don't know what it is, but we seem to want to push at the wrong times, and we try to feed ahead.
That's being a smart basketball player. Knowing when to push and when to, like you said, put on the brakes.
It's okay to push. It's a matter of, is the guy ahead of you that you're pushing the ball for looking? Is he turned around looking at you? Senators.
And the and another thing is the angle there for the pass to even be there to begin with.
Do I need to answer that, or was that rhetorical? 4.5 to play here in the third. Still 19-17, Braves out in front. They were able to break that 17-all tie. And we are stopped here in third quarter action with a whistle by Mr. Deckard. He'll blow the whistle against Jacob Nolenberg, who picks up his third personal. And that's the first of the half whistled against the Braves. Senators yet to commit a personal as Jake Strange checks out. Nichols back in. Out there with Green and Abels. Abels had it poked away for a moment, able to save the possession. A lot of dribble into the corner, gives it up to Green. Now back to Nichols out top. Senators will try to cycle back through again as Nichols says, hey, let's slow it up, get where we need to be. We'll see a little 1-2-2 half-court zone look for the Braves. Harrison misses underneath, got his own rebound, missed the second one, got a second offensive rebound, so 2 shot attempts and 2 offensive boards. But on the rebound attempt.
30-second
Noah
timeout,
Franklin's going to
Borden.
pick up his first personal of the night, team foul number 2, and Doc not very happy with the rebounding effort as he is in the face of his guys and now going to execute a demonstration of how to block out correctly. About took out one of the water boys from the JV squad, I'm assuming. 4:04 to play here in the third on the 30-second timeout by Doc and the Braves. 19-17, snail's pace offensively. Eastern in the house, setting up above the west basket, up in the upper deck with the coaching staff, and Salem heads to the locker room to get ready for the championship game.
In this a game like this, 19-17, halfway through the third. I mean, I think both teams like to play slower, but I don't know about this slow. 19-17, offensively we are just on the struggle bus on the offensively right now.
The feed off the inbounds play, and Nichols able to cash in on a feed from Abels. That's Mikey's first basket, and it's a timely one. Senators finally grabbed their first lead of the night at 20-19. Robinson has it out front. Now to McNew. Let's see how the Senators respond defensively after snagging that first lead of the night. McNew will come off a double screen, a staggered screen on the block left side. Catches in the corner, nowhere to go. Gives it to Franklin. Again, he splits two guys, can't finish.
That was an unlucky third foul from Parker. I think he's going to get knocked for that one. He was just falling down and unfortunately got a piece of Franklin as he was going up.
First foul of the half for West Washington, and Parker's third, so he's got 3. Nolenberg on the flip side has 3 for the Braves, but just 3 fouls thus far in this half of play and only 8 whistled total, 4 apiece for each team in the first half of action. Franklin to the free throw line. First attempt of the night is good. He'll get one more. Tied at 20 apiece. And he's able to break the tie and give the Braves the lead back at 21-20.
Gives them a chance to set up the press. You just got to, like Coach said, stay poised.
Nichols goes behind the back in the double team, able to break pressure, gives it off to Parker. Parker will drive now left side. Nice crossover. Feeds back out to Nichols. Straight away 3. Well short, barely grazed the front iron. And Robinson now had it poked away from behind. And Doc now get on Deckard's case here a little bit as he thought Abels caught some skin of the forearm there on the reach around. And now Doc's barking will get a whistle.
He got that foul. So there's a lot less contact on that Mikey's than there was with Abels.
Senator foul go on Nichols, his first, team foul number 2. Abels will check out. Zink comes back in. So Green, Nichols, and Zink in the backcourt. Sanford and Mars up front for West Washington. 2:53 and counting third quarter.
And again, this is under 3 now. So how do you finish the quarter? Do you feel good about yourself going into the fourth quarter or not? Can you finish strong?
Parker extends pressure on Nolenberg, and they're basically running a little shuffle half-court offense here with basically 5 out, and every time a guy gives it up, he's going to rotate through the paint and back out to a corner, just a little continuous loop or shuffle, as a lot of coaches would like to refer to it as, in the half-court, just to keep spacing and allow the dribble drive opportunities. It looks like Coach Cow don't want to make Coach Gibson stick to his stomach, but looks a little bit like Kentucky out there. Dribble drive lanes, and Robinson's going to take it against a smaller Zink and comes up short. Nice rebound underneath for Harrison Sanford. So Senators with an opportunity here, knocking on the door as we're under 2 minutes to play in the third. They trail at 21-20, and
just
you guessed
throw it
it
into the second row.
I wish I could say that's the first time we've said that this weekend, but unfortunately I cannot. Minute 51 to play. Noah Franklin checks out. And I'm assuming his
Nick
younger brother,
zigged when
Micah.
Mikey thought he was going to zag there on that one, but again, it's not Nick's fault. It says make you sick to your stomach. Bobby Knight said that's the passer's fault.
Got me choked up a little bit, Coach. McNew with the drive. He can't get the finish in the paint with a little floater. Bounced off the back iron, and Abels comes out of there with it. Now he'll race into the front court, stops, pops, 17-foot jumper, won't go from the right elbow. Robinson pulls down yet another strong defensive rebound, and he'll bring it up himself into the front court. Stops the volleyball spike line and gives it up to McNew. Minute 15 and counting now for the Braves here in the third, operating with a 1-point lead at 21-20. Nolenberg back to McNew. Another strong take. And
That's
I think he got away with maybe 1, 2, 3 steps. Who knows? If you're in the NBA, it doesn't matter. But unfortunately for that young man, he is not a player within the NBA. So he'll have to take that travel, which will be turnover number 5 on the night for Borden. Gives it back to West Washington with just over a minute to play. Abels will drive full court, lays it off for Harrison Sanford. So Abels drops the dime. Harrison knows what to do with it around the rim as he drops it in the piggy bank for his second basket of the night. Give him 4, and the Senators own their second lead of the night at 22-21. 48 seconds and counting third quarter. McNew, wild spin move, somehow got the acrobatic shot to go. He's got 4. Make it 23-22. Braves back out in front by 1.
See if we take the last shot here.
They'll run and jump. Abels forces him to give it up to Nichols. 30 seconds and counting. Abels center circle. They're on that gold S. They'll give it up to Nichols, and they'll go into that 3-man weave out front. Nichols, Zink, and Abels. Abels will drive, trying to get a kick. He got one to Nichols, but was not ready for it. I think we're going to be patient here and maybe try to run this thing all the way down. The question is, will we run ourselves out of time? Abels with the dribble, tries to cross over, gives it up to Nichols, pump fake, step back 3, fade away, misses everything as the third quarter comes to a close. So the Senators will roll into the fourth, trailing at 23-22. Cut into that halftime deficit by 1. What sets us up for a very promising fourth quarter for West Washington. They've got over the hump a couple times with the lead, just cannot extend it each time that they grab a hold. So we'll see if we can't do a little bit better job of that in the fourth. 1-point game. We'll step aside, take a break, get a word in from a sponsor, and we'll come back with more right after this.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet, and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight, alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look at the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Back to open up the fourth quarter of play. Borden starts with the rock. And on a nice take underneath, Jacob Nolenberg will be fouled. That'll be a foul on Nick Mars. And that's just his first personal of the night and just the team's third of the half. But it sends Nolenberg to the line. Chance for points number 3 and 4. 7:46 to go in regulation. Freshly into this fourth quarter of action. Salem and Eastern up next for the championship game of this holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank. Nolenberg missed the first. Second one on the way is good. A little bit better stroke on that one and better follow through. 24-22. Senators trail it. Full court man-to-man pressure here by the Braves. See if they can get this guard set rattled. It's Zink, Green, and Abels out there with Mars and Sanford. Nearly a half minute gone by in the fourth. Abels holds out front. Senators down 2. Able to outscore the Braves 7-6 in that third period. Coach, when you look at the stats, we're going to have a timeout on the floor, a full timeout for Coach Smith and company at the 7:25 mark. Shooting pretty even, rebounds pretty even. One thing I am noticing, though, 6-1 offensive rebounds. Senators owning that advantage, so that may be the thing that's keeping this crew in it. We'll step aside, we'll take another quick break, and we'll come back with more right after this.
Bayview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MetaView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Timeout used by Coach Smith. Probably a pretty wise decision. He had plenty to burn. He still had 2 fulls and 2 30s when he took that timeout with 7:23 to go. Senators trying to tie this game back up or take the lead with a 3. Abel's unable to connect. But we just talked about the offensive rebound discrepancy. That's now 7-1 on the offensive boards as Mars comes up with a big offensive board and a putback. Give him 6 now on the night. We're tied for the 3rd time at 24 apiece.
I thought that was a good point. I must have missed one of the offensive boards, but I'd had him for 0. So it's pretty impressive so far, holding him to 1 look.
Shot taken by McNew on the wing. Maybe not the shot that Coach Nash and company was looking for. 6:33 and counting, 4th quarter of play. So Senators back in a familiar position, tie ball game for the 3rd time. Chance to take their 3rd lead of the night. They've led it 20-19 and 22-21, but again, never really able to truly get over the hump and push that lead out to more than just a 1-possession game.
Can we get a good shot?
High post feed to Sanford, back out to Green, out there with Abels, Mars, and Zink. Mars turns. Looked like he had a guy hanging all over the forearm, but a strong turnaround jumper. Mars doubles his point production from the first half of play. Had 4 at the half. He's got 8 now in the ball game. 26-24. Senators back out in front. Gonna have to dig deep here. I think if we could ever get 1 defensive stop and 1 more solid possession, we might be okay, but it's a matter of our ability to be patient and to do the dirty work down here on the defensive end. Nolenberg going to take the dribble drive against Green, against Abels. And Abels will pick up his first personal of the night.
He's calling on the floor. So.
Team foul number 4. Abels checks out. Nichols checks back in. Coach Smith not very happy with Abels on that possession, wanting him to step in and try to take a charge. Nice poke away by Green. Thought it went off of Rippey. It'll stay here. Substitution, Noah Franklin will check back in for Micah Franklin. So it's Rippey, Franklin, Nolenberg, McNew, and Robinson back to the original 5 as Doc Nash has only went 6 deep here tonight into his roster. And he'll now educate the sophomore Franklin as he has a seat between him and Coach Ray Weatherford, JV coach for Doc Nash.
Harrison did a really nice job there. It looked like they really wanted to throw into the post there, but Harrison was digging him out. He did a really nice job defensively.
Back to that little 5-out pass and cut offense. They're feeding the high post to Robinson. Nice step through off the pump fake and uses the glass.
Number 31, Jacob Robinson.
Knocks one in off the window. He's got 9. He hadn't scored yet in the second half. Had 7 in the first 16 minutes of play. Tied for the 4th time at 26 apiece. Whistle on a foul on the pressure applied. Abels will check in after the foul's reported.
Again, I think we got bailed out on that one. I mean, there was probably some contact there, but Mikey's just getting a little bit in too much of a hurry.
Rippey picks up his first team foul,
There's a lot of time
3.
left.
Abels, Zink, Green, Sanford, Mars. Half-court man-to-man this trip for the Braves as Franklin applies pressure on Abels. Goes left side to Zink. They'll look in the post. And on the little throw over top, they get Parker working in the post against Rippey, a matchup that definitely favors West Washington.
Coach was really wanting him to feed that post. It looked like he was going to reverse, but in the last second he didn't. He fed Parker, and Parker took it strong, and now he's going to the line. I think he's 5 or 6 on the year.
Foul on Franklin, his second, team foul number 4. Doc felt like that was of the bargain basement variety, a little nickel dimer, and gets an explanation from Eichert that he doesn't like, but got to applaud the effort for Doc. He's going to work the officials, and he's a master at doing so as Parker steps up and knocks down 2 big free
It
throws.
always makes me happy when you pull out a referee. A little nickel dime.
Oh, got to find a way to entertain ourselves sometimes throughout the course of a game, Coach. 28-26, Senators back out in front. 4th lead of the night for West Washington, but it's never been more than a 2-point advantage. Senators match up in the half court this trip. Little nickel defense for them. Franklin with the drive, though. And there's that tie again. Our 5th in the night at 28 apiece. Franklin was 6 in this half, 10 in the ball game for the senior. Parker will drive left side. Nice take again as he works against McNew.
Got to get a stop. If you could get up to a 2-possession lead, boy, you would think the confidence would soar. But, I mean, it's back and forth right now, so you got to get a stop.
First half was a Braves lead, tie, Braves lead. Now it's the same, but for West Washington in this half. But McNew answers right back. He's got 6 on the night, and you guessed it, tied up again at 30 apiece, 3.5 to play. I'm almost positive if you took a straw poll of the audience that Salem and Eastern's fans probably do not want to have to sit and wait through an overtime. If I was a betting person. Missed shot, mid-range jumper for Zink would not go on the kick out. Abels hits a 3. Nice stroke for the junior guard. His first points of the night gives West Washington their largest lead at 33-30. Coach Smith wanting to play the screens a little bit better out front.
The last couple times we've gotten a lead, we've given up a layup. So
are you kidding me?
The bank 3.
McNew with back-to-back baskets, and they find a way to tie it up again with the 3-pointer by McNew, answering Abels. Tied at 33 apiece, 2:45 and counting. Mars right baseline shot wouldn't go on the follow. He'll be whistled for an over the back.
Yeah.
Probably a good call, but a nice effort by the senior. Mars will pick up his 2nd, team foul number 5.
First foul, West Washington, number 34, Nick Mars, his 2nd.
Abels will check out. Nichols comes back in to join Zink, Mars, Green, and Sanford. And now Coach Smith will bend the ear of David Yeary. Robinson will walk it up, gives it to McNew, who's hit the last 2 for the Braves. Nice little 5-0 spurt for him. Franklin controls left side. Rolling up on the 2-minute warning in this one, all tied at 33 apiece. Been a pretty good game, just not a lot of flashy offense or defense as that results in this low-scoring affair. And now Doc will take a pretty good timeout. I'd be very interested to see what comes of this timeout. It's a full timeout, so we're going to step aside and take one as well. But again, if I was a betting person, he's either going to have a quick hitter coming out of this timeout, or he's going to look to pull the air out of the ball and go to that stall game that he's used so effectively in the past. Make the Senators work or try to lull them to sleep. We'll take a quick timeout and we'll come back right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Out of the timeout by the Braves, 2:13 to go. Franklin will walk it into the front court. Going to go a box and 1 here on McNew. We saw the same gimmick defense. It was Nichols who matched up against Hindigus out of the box and 1. And he's going to face guard McNew and drive him completely out to the corner. Doc says that's fine, we'll play 4-on-4 instead. Minute 50 and counting, and Franklin took the air out of the basketball. We'll see how patient West Washington is. Now they're going to shuffle back and match up now. Nichols stands out with his hands on his hips, and he's just going to mirror McNew wherever he goes. Minute and a half to play. Coach says, hey, stop, wait. Nolenberg gets into the high post, little box set. Franklin on the drive, splits two guys. Nice take, couldn't find it. Off the back iron, couldn't get the friendly bounce, and Zink pulls down the rebound as he will now walk it into the front court. Half-court man for the Braves on this possession defensively. 66 seconds and counting, and a timeout by Coach Smith. Anything you can do, I can do
that's
better.
That's a good timeout. So are you saying the same thing, quick hitter, or just
Full timeout.
deflate the ball?
I thought that's all we run, our quick hitters. What are you talking about, Coach? Come on, we're a no-huddle offense. Don't you know that?
That is true.
Oh, wait, that's football. Never mind. Anyway, 65 seconds to play. Full timeout. And Coach Nash, instead of talking defense, I'm reading his lips. He's not too happy with Noah Franklin. I'm not sure that that's exactly what he wanted whenever he pulled that box set out of his back pocket. 33-33, we're gonna keep it right here. I tell you what, let's do this real quick, Coach. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Senators and Braves in the 2017 Holiday Tourney, presented by First Harrison Bank of Salem.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
So full timeout for Coach Smith, a good one. Minute 5 to go. Parker right in front of us will inbound. It'll be a three-man stack. Sanford, Zink, Nichols, Mars on the block. They'll leak Zink into the backcourt. He'll get it unchallenged and now be met at the half-court stripe by Nolenberg. Very aggressive half-court man. Ball last touched by the Braves as they hedge strong off of the dribble handoff. Senators trying to go with a little delay game. 55.8. Senators to reset as Parker slides down in front of Coach Myers and Coach Sullivan on the end of the Senator bench. 50 seconds to go. Same result. Zink picks it up a little too quick, gives it off to Green, floats it over the top, back to Zink, and now to to Nichols on the right. Parker, Zink, and Nichols working the three-man weave. Harrison and Mars waiting on the short corners on both sides. Can the Senators hold for one? That's the thing. 25 seconds of counting as Doc continues to bark out instructions.
That's a foul.
Parker bumped from behind by Franklin. He'll be trapped in the backcourt. 4-on-2 break. Harrison, kick out. Nichols thought about three. We had a wide open look with a 4-on-2 break. Under 10 seconds to play, and Coach Smith's going to burn a timeout.
Wow. How is that not a foul on Parker out front? I don't understand that. But then going out, we get the ball. You're right. It was 4-on-1, and we were looking for the three, I think.
4-on-2 break from half court, and we don't get an open shot.
But we've been complaining about not holding for the last shot.
I know I just teach elementary math, but come on, Coach. 7 seconds to play. Full timeout for Coach Smith.
The guy tonight has been
one
Parker
of the
Green.
two guys that was open on that last possession. No, Coach.
Hey, we don't live in the past now. Come on. 7 seconds, 33-33.
You're right. I'm looking to the future and that bottle of Excedrin that's in my bag.
Oh, boy.
33-33.
You can have too.
Yeah, we end up going to overtime. That's going to be what the doctor ordered.
I'm saying Senators win it here.
Doc Nash comes
If
to
we
half
get it
court,
inbound.
tells Deckard, if we get a steal, I want a timeout. He's got him to burn. 7 seconds to go. Three-man stack again in front of Parker. He'll trigger it in. Iger gives it up to him. They'll roll Sanford back. Zink will drive. He'll be run and jump trapped. And we've got a foul. And Deckard saves the day. He says Zink was fouled by Franklin.
His third, team's fifth.
That's
the one they missed last time.
But that's okay if you're Doc, because while he could have got the steal, it's going to be a timeout.
30-second timeout. West Washington.
2.9.
Coach Jones, are you missing our point guard at this point?
Hey, somebody needs to tell those guys to remember to pack his jersey for the next game, please. Holden, this is 2 games where somebody's forgot to pack his jersey. We yell at the football guys for forgetting their things at school, right?
A little on the radio conversation, Coach Jones and Coach Bowser. Coach is missing.
All right, here we go, 2.9. So flustered, I can't even take it.
2.9, that's a tough place to take it out. I mean, and again, Doc, probably if gets a chance, maybe
right in Eichard's ear, too. 2.9, here we go. Nichols gets it, gives it right back to Green. He stops, fires long, 3-pointer on the way.
He pushed him.
Coach Smith calling for a foul, isn't going to get one. And we are going to roll to overtime, so we're going to step aside, take a break. I might go ahead and look into that bottle of Excedrin. We'll take a break, hear a word from the sponsor, and we'll come back to begin the overtime period right after this.
Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sidelines, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Back to begin the overtime period. It'll be Sanford and Robinson in the center circle to jump it up. Senators will open the overtime with Green, Sanford, out there with Mars, Nichols, and Zink. So a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, 2 seniors, and a partridge in a pear tree as we open up the overtime period, and the Senators control the tip. Coach, if we do not win this ball game, I'm going to have nightmares about that 4-on-2 break.
Like I said, we got 4-minute overtime here. Play solid, we'll be fine.
Nice feed from Zink to Mars, senior to senior connection. Mars, beautiful finish. He now has 10 on the night, and the Senators grab the lead at 35-33. Go ahead, Coach.
We never could in the fourth quarter get over that 2-point, the cushion. If we could ever, like I said, get to a 2-possession lead, you're more confident and you play a little bit looser.
Senators man-to-man to open up the overtime period. Extra 4 minutes of basketball, so fans getting their money's worth tonight. 35-33. Nice drive again by Franklin. Got knocked to the deck. Couldn't finish. Beautiful take, though. Pretty shifty with the basketball.
He's got some quicks to him.
Now it's going to be whistled against Sanford. That'll be Harrison's first of the night. Team foul number 6. The next one will put the Braves in the bonus for the remainder of the overtime session. First free throw up and no good for Franklin. 2 of 3 on the night.
Got to box out here. You got to make sure you can't, if he misses 2 free throws, you can't just give it right back to him by not boxing out.
Second free throw on the way is good. 7 points for Franklin in the half, and the overtime, 11 in the game. 35-34. He's just cleared out, let Nichols bring it up. He goes behind the back, brings it to the front court now, and he'll be trapped. Forced to give it up to Mars. He'll slow it up and give it back to Nichols. Braves settle back into the half-court man. 2:43 and counting in the overtime session. Game 1 here tonight, consolation game for third place. Lions and Musketeers to follow. A bonus basketball here on the airways. Nearly poked away from Green. Franklin was giving chase. Senators able to save the possession, though, as Zink will back it out and start chewing some clock again. Rolling up on the halfway point of this overtime period. 2-minute warning upcoming. Zink, 5 count was on. Rippey applies pressure and forces the count to start again by Geary. Nichols controls now against Franklin. Looks to cross him over. Does. Gives it off on the wing now right side to Zink. Screen and roll. Mars couldn't handle the pass. Errant pass by Zink. Turnover number 6 on the night. Senators went the whole fourth quarter, coach, without a turnover. 3 in the second half and overtime periods combined. 35-34. Senators clinging to a 1-point lead. Both teams sticking with the man half-court D in this overtime period. High ball screen for Robinson. Now they'll run that stagger screen again for McNew. Quick catch and fire. 3-ball for Mark. And a nice rebounding effort. Nichols able to block out Franklin. He's going to pick up his 3rd personal. Team foul number 6. So both teams will be in the bonus the rest of the way home.
His 4th, team 6th.
Check that, his 4th personal. Still the 6th on the team. 1-4 press break. This is what we could not execute last night against Salem when the pressure was applied. But instead of 2-2-1 pressure, as Salem offered, it's full court man-to-man here as they get it safely in the front court to Green. Parker gives it up to Zink. Not a great pass, but saves the possession.
That is a foul.
And
Thank
it's
you,
16
sir.
and counting, and Franklin going to pick up his 5th. And that is not what Coach Nash needed.
I don't think so.
One of his senior leaders going to have to check out of this one. Eliminated 5 personals. And Micah Franklin, the 5'7" sophomore, will check back in and will walk to the stripe, and it'll be Nichols after the foul in the backcourt to the line for the 1 and bonus opportunity on the year. Mikey, just a 50% free throw shooter, 2 of 4, hasn't shot one yet this evening. First one is up and good.
Nice clutch free throw, Murray. This is a big one right here. You could go up 3.
That's the biggest lead we've had all night, 33-30.
Hit a bank-in 3-pointer.
And then answered right back. You are correct. Second one on the way, no good. So he sticks true to form here. 50% shooter on the year. That's what he is on that trip. 2-point lead, 36-34. Rolling up on a minute to play. Rippey holds out front for the Braves, picked up by Green. He'll dribble out now. Nowhere to go with it. Gives it up on the wing to Nolenberg. Back to Robinson. Looks to take into the mid-post. Kicks out to McNew. Pull-up jumper, right elbow. This one won't go. Strong rebound for Mars. We're going to have to apply some pressure here and hope West Washington misses at the free throw line unless we shoot ourselves in the foot. Triple team. Able to give it up to Zink. Nichols gets out of a little bit of trouble. Gets it right back now on the far side. 30 seconds to play to Green. That's probably a guy that you want to have the ball in his hands. 83% free throw shooter. Got to get it back to him. Dribble drive. And Nichols has it.
I think it might be Mikey going back.
And it will be. Team foul number 8 whistled against the Braves. And this one on McNew. That's his 2nd personal of the night. Timeout will be a full timeout for Coach Nash before the 1 and bonus opportunity for Nichols. 19.9 on the clock. Let's step aside and get in another sponsor.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I needed a cooler for our annual fishing trip, and I heard Ace has Yeti.
Jack was right. We do have Yeti coolers. I told him about the permafrost insulation and the fact that Yeti coolers are built for the wild, and that Yeti Tundra is guaranteed grizzly-proof.
Ace is a place with grizzly-proof Yeti coolers.
Ace Hardware of Salem is your local Yeti dealer. Get a free $50 Ace gift card with your purchase of any Yeti cooler of $249 or more. Offer ends December 23rd.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Back out of the timeout by Borden. Mikey Nichols to the line for the 1 and bonus. Senators with a 36-34 lead. First one is up and rattles out. So Senators just cannot put this game away at the line. And a nice drive and a take. Count it in, one. Big take for Jacob Nolenberg, who had been quiet for most of the night. As a matter of fact, just 3 points, 1 field goal. Woo!
His second, team 7.
In the words of our friend, Mr. Vital, he's quite the PTPer because he shows up at the right time. Mr. Clutch makes it 36-36. Chance to give the Braves the lead back for the first time in quite some time, and he does. And that right there might be the difference, Coach. Wow. Braves able to capitalize. Just 2 misses on the night from the charity stripe. 30-second timeout. 30-second timeout called by Coach Nash. 13.9 on the clock. 37-36.
Plenty of time. But yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, that's not something you just can't give up a old-fashioned three-point play there. But these are all learning opportunities, Coach Jones. All learning opportunities. Here we go, 13.9. Obviously, I would expect at least a little token pressure, I would think, from Coach Nash, but maybe we can get to the line.
Here we go, tighten the seat belt. 13.9, 37-36. Braves out in front.
Got to be strong with the ball.
Parker to inbound, 1-4 press break.
They will
Abels,
not call
Zink,
a foul if
Nichols,
you're not strong
Green,
with the ball.
And Mars. 10 seconds to play. Back to Green. Bad pass. And it's going to be a timeout by Coach Smith to save the possession.
Full timeout, West Washington.
That was not being strong with the ball or confident. So just the opposite of that is what we need.
6.1 on the clock. We're going to pause 10 seconds for station identification.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
6.1 to play, 37-36. Braves lead it by 1 off the old-fashioned three-point play by Jacob Nolenberg on the last possession on the dribble drive by the Braves. Team fouls 8-7. Braves have committed just 1 more personal. So both teams in the bonus if there's a whistle either way, unless it's player control.
You got to get to the basket. I mean, like I said, I mean, sort of just kidding a minute ago, but you got to be strong with the ball, be aggressive. Even if you don't hit the shot, there's a good chance you're going to get a foul call.
I know we're still a little over a week away or so from Christmas, but I hope Coach Smith pulled in a humdinger of a present here to give the Senator fans out of Santa's magic bag out of that timeout. And Coach Nash now is going to burn a timeout, full timeout after he sees what Coach Smith aligned his guys with. Keep it right here. Again, Eastern and Salem waiting anxiously down here at the west end of the gymnasium. They will go at it in what's usually more of a bloodbath over the last few years. There's been some pretty intense games and matchups between these two ball clubs. And Scott Newcomb and Hank Whedon talk a little bit down on the baseline. But these two teams will go at it for the championship. Salem trying to defend their title. Meanwhile, Eastern trying to claim another county championship. As far as the holiday tourney is concerned, they'll have to wait at least 6.1. Been on an odd score, Coach. It's highly unlikely that we would see a double overtime unless we get fouled and go to the free throw line where we're 50% basically on the night. So I guess a little bit better than that. Green, he'll push, three-pointer on the way, couldn't get it to go. Rebound, bounces around, and Parker had a wide open look at it. But the Senators are gonna fall 37-36. That ball looked good, and if you were watching at home, you saw Coach Bousman stand up and throw the hand down. He said it was good as gold, and it sure looked like it. It was right on target, just a little long, as the Braves do just enough in the overtime session and outscore the Senators 4-3 in the extra 4 minutes of play to take the 37-36 advantage here tonight. They'll finish in third place. Senators 0-2 on the weekend. Now I've lost 4 in a row. Let's take just a very quick break, and we'll come back and run down the scoring from this one.
Jackpot tonight is $150.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and
This one a final in the consolation tonight of the 2017 holiday tourney presented by First Harrison Bank in Salem. Braves win it in exciting fashion in overtime. 37-36 is your final. Braves hit one guy in double figures tonight, 11 for Noah Franklin on the evening. Lucas McNew chips in 9. Jacob Robinson with 9 as well. Jacob Nolenberg with 6. Probably the star of the night for the Braves. He had the old-fashioned three-point play to give the Braves that 1-point edge on their final possession of the overtime period. Dakota Rippey started but did not score. Micah Franklin plays off the bench, the only guy to come off the bench in a reserve role. He chips in 2 of 2 free throw shooting for his lone 2 of the night. Overall, the Borden Braves in this one pretty strong at the free throw line. A good effort for them this evening. They go 9 of 11 from the charity stripe for 82%, and they only commit 5 turnovers total in the win here this evening, running them to 4-4 now overall on the year. Win number 177 for Coach Doc Nash. Meanwhile, again, the Senators dropped their 4th straight, now 2-5 on the year. They'll have some time off before the Springs Valley holiday tourney the week of Christmas, a few days after Christmas, in fact, over at the Hawks Nest in French Lick. Pace ball game, just 36 points total on the night for West Washington. Mikey Nichols with the start at the point tonight, chips in 4, but he goes just 1 of 3 from the charity stripe. Zink scoreless on the night for West Washington, as well as Dakota Smith, who started in place of Jake Strange this evening. Parker Green, a pretty good night for him. 6 points in the second half, 7 in the first half for a total of 13 on the night. Missed that big 3, but had a great look at it there as time expired in the overtime period. Nick Mars has 4 in the first half of play, chips in 6 in the fourth quarter in overtime for 10 points on the night. Off the bench, Jake Strange, Harrison Sanford, and Caden Abels all play. Jake Strange chips in 2, Harrison Sanford with 4, Caden Abels with 3 on the night to total out 36 points in all for the Senators. Free throw wise on the night, Senators not getting to the line a ton. As a matter of fact, they only shot, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total free throws on the night, going 5 of 7 for just 71%. So the percent, not great, but not terrible either. Just need to find a higher volume of free throws. Again, just 71% on the night, and it's not enough. Scoring by quarter, 10-4 after the first stop, as the Braves led it after 1. Senators outscore the Senators 11-7 in the second quarter to trail at 17-15 at the half. Braves get outscored 7-6 in the third. Brings us to a 1-point game at 23-22 heading into the fourth. In the fourth, it was an 11-10 win for West Washington that sent that game to overtime. But in the overtime session again, Jacob Nolenberg with the shot heard around the county as he hits the old-fashioned three-point play opportunity and is able to cash in with the free throw and break that 36-all tie. And that was all the Braves would need as they hold on for the 1-point win in the consolation game of this holiday tourney here this evening. Lions and Musketeers have taken the floor, Coach, so we can get off of here and let Eastern and Salem both get on the airwaves. Just a quick final thought for you.
Well, you said it. I mean, 1 point. I mean, it comes down to missing the front end of a 1-and-1. So, I mean, yeah, they're not happy in that locker room. But like I said before, this was a big game for confidence. But one thing I know in the last few years, it seems like after the holiday tournament, Coach has our team starting to trend upward. I don't know if it's the week and a half before the Springs Valley tournament, or you have a little bit of a break after that and before you play. I think that Thursday is after it gets. We play that.
Yep.
Anyway,
Thursday,
the first, the weekend after Christmas break. So I have confidence. I mean, we were joking about it, about Tums, but these are learning experience for a young group. But obviously a 1-point game, you're missing your point guard. I'll be happy when Mr. Bausman's back, to be honest with you. I mean, everybody's doing their part, but just having that calming presence will help out a lot.
So we're going to go ahead and get ready and wrap things up a little early tonight on our Ace Hardware Salem Senator post-game show, so Eastern can get on the airways. We'll name our player of the night quickly. That'll be Parker Green. 13 points on the night for Parker in a pretty solid effort. 13 points as well as 3 rebounds on the night, 2 assists. Congratulations, Parker Green, our Ace Hardware player of the night. He also went 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. And before we go off the air, we want to give a final shout out and thank you to all of our sponsors. John Jones GM City, our pregame show sponsor. Eddie Gilstrap Motors, our halftime report sponsor, as well as Ace Hardware, bringing you this abbreviated postgame show here tonight after the consolation game where the Braves are able to win it in overtime. Also a shout out to McDonald's, Walmart, Brady Bishop and Channel Seed, as well as Salem Crossing and Meadowview Healthcare. Without their generous support, we can't do the job each night that we love when the Senators play. So be sure to get out and let those sponsors know how much they are truly appreciated. And with that said, we'll get ready and turn it back over to the station so Eastern can get on the AM side of things for this championship tilt between the Lions and the Musketeers. So for our studio engineer, Becky White, this evening, for my sidekick, Mark Gibson, and our live stream operator, Craig Akers, this is Misty Jones saying so long and good night from Salem High School. Senators fall 37-36 in overtime. Everyone, please have a safe holiday and a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you from the Hawk's Nest after the Christmas break. Good night, everybody.